Hi, everyone. This is Sebastian Traeger, and welcome back to another Reliability 4.0 episode. As always, we're on a mission to help make the world a more reliable place. And we are glad you're here. We hope that you learned something about reliability, about root cause analysis, and about how you and your team can can grow practically in what you're doing, and also learn a little bit about what's coming out in terms of technology. Today, we are joined by Justin Thomas from Premier. Justin serves as the Director of Corporate Engineering, and he works with Premier, which is a company that handles projects in hospitality, multifamily, and student housing. So, Justin, we are thrilled that you are here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Would you mind telling us, just to start off, a little bit more about Premier and what you do in your role there?
Sounds good. Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate this opportunity. So Premier is an award-winning company that works in the hospitality, multifamily, and student housing spaces. Our team, we have a whole team of experts under one roof that we take projects from concept to completion. We do anywhere from ground up rebuilds and renovations, or just managing the existing assets and extending its life out of it. Our architecture and interior design teams have won multiple awards all across the U.S. in this space. So pretty cool to see some of the work that they do. So we work under the umbrella of Ashford Incorporated. So we are a company underneath them. Then we also have a sister company, Remington Hospitality, who manages a lot of these assets for Ashford and also for other owners of these hospitality properties.
Excellent. Okay. So So you all are sort of like an in-house design, build, function for a couple of different companies. Is that a good summary?
Yeah, it's a good summary. Yeah,
it's great.
So the corporate engineering team, we have our own team. We manage all the technical aspects of the property. So with the engineering, design, and we do some project management, and then maintenance guidance, and also capital work and execution. We're not just providing for these third parties, but we're also providing for, not for just for Ashford, but also for third party as well.
Great. Well, we'll drill into that in a little bit more, so we can hear more about it. Tell us. I always like to ask folks, tell us a little bit about you, your family, what you do outside of work. Always just good to have a human face on the folks that we're talking to.
Oh, absolutely. My wife and I have two kids, so a boy and a girl, and they're into sports, so that keeps us busy at home. I am quite involved in our church with our media team, so my weekends are busy. Let's put it that way. But I started off my career in with Abbott, who's a medical device manufacturer. Then I went to Nestle Purina Pet Care. We have a plant that was an engineer and a maintenance manager for about 15 years. Then I worked for a local power company, and then finally I'm here at Premier. So
that's quite a diverse background.
It is. And I'll tell you, with my time with Nestle is where I have gotten significantly involved in maintenance. So I led a team of 50 people with maintenance all around the 24/7. And Nestle is huge on maintenance and TPM and reliability from a standpoint. So
that was a great opportunity to really, that part of your journey was, it sounds like, a lot of professional development happening there.
Absolutely. Yes, I gained a lot of knowledge from there and experience, just implementing a lot of these programs, especially TPM. And Nestle has this program called Nestle Continuous Excellence, where, you want to drive your asset life to the next level, right?
Okay.
Maintenance strategies, rebuilds, preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, you name it, they've done it. So
great. Well, let's camp out on that for a second. So from that, what have you found? Because obviously a large company like that probably has a good number of people on teams. They've got a pretty well-oiled process. As you came to Premier, what were maybe the top 1, 2 lessons or tools you felt like you could bring with you that would not overwhelm, but would be really additive pretty quickly to the work at Premier?
Well, so a part of it, we talk about reliability, right? It has to be intentional, right? You can talk and preach reliability all you want to, but if you're not intentional about doing these things and being proactive, you won't get through it. So you have to have that proactive mindset versus reactive mindset. So that's one of the things I'm driving into it with Premier, and building it into the team culture. So, I have a portfolio of properties that I help. And then, so when I talk to those local teams, we're always looking at what we can do to increase the asset life from doing preventive maintenance or even a predictive maintenance standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are, that Nestle experience kind of really helped me, actually taught me, from that standpoint and bring it over to all these other jobs.
Right. So it's almost like gave you some of those tools in the toolkit to be able to implement that sort of proactive approach.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nestle used a lot of tools, 5 whys, fish diagrams, DMAICs, you name it. But the other thing it also taught me is it doesn't have to be complicated, right? A root cause does not have to be a complicated issue. You can go out there with 3 or 4 people, start looking at it, figuring out, throw out some ideas, see what it will take to fix it. And you can keep it simple too, for smaller issues.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, where it fails is, they forget to do, well, okay, we found a root cause. Now what? Right? Then all of a sudden you're in that excitement phase of we fixed something, but forget to do the preventive steps for future. How do we avoid this happening again in the future? So, and those are things that, we continuously work on.
Right. Yeah, I want to just ask on that. Why is it, do you think, that being proactive, because to some extent you say that and it sounds obvious to everybody, right? Oh yeah, you should be. But what do you think? What do you think in either past companies or just even observations? Why does it seem difficult for people to truly be proactive from a reliability perspective?
It's easier to fight fires, right? And then taking the time and just pausing and then deep diving into it, because it takes resources, it takes time, it takes people, sometimes it takes money, to really go deep down and then address these issues. And you have to have people with that mindset too. If you're always in that firefighting mindset, you'll never get over that hump, because that's
Good.
So that's.
Yeah, and I suppose, like, what do you think they did well to say, because they still had to kind of fight the fires. Obviously, that's always got to be top priority. But was it that they were staffed well enough that they could handle the fires and still have excess capacity, or what do you think was going on that they were able to get over that hump?
If you talk to any maintenance group, they'll always tell you they're not staffed. Right? They can always use more staff. But if you make it a priority that, hey, if you have an issue, you have to find the root cause and you have to address it, right? And that becomes part of your KPIs, right? It becomes part of your everyday meetings. Hey, what was the issue? And then did you find the root cause? And how do we make sure it doesn't happen again? So yeah. It's really that mindset that changes everything. It's not, everything else it can be an excuse.
Yeah, it's almost as simple as, I'm just thinking, step 1, identify the issue. 3, find the root causes. 4, determine corrective actions and execute on them. Right? Could be pretty simple, but to your point, obviously these are complex problems, so they're hard in the wild to tame. But it is really that simple, I guess, problem-solving framework that you're operating under.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's talk about your current role, your current position. What do you find the top challenges or top priorities that you're working on?
So, I mean, we try to execute capital projects. But again, at the end of the day, you want to be mindful of the capital that you are spending. Um, you want to make sure it's not a wasted effort, right? So you
Right.
use it to, I would say, let me think on that. So I'm going to pause.
Yeah,
um,
sure.
I would say,
Well, let me ask the question again then.
uh,
So turning to your current company, your current role, what would you say are kind of top priorities that you're focused on right now?
so I would say how we allocate capital, right? I mean, there's not enough capital in the world to fix everything, right? So the process of identifying your top issues and then how can we attack it? Do we truly need capital to replace a piece of equipment versus what else can we do to mitigate that, right? Can we do something from a preventive maintenance standpoint to increase the life of that asset? So that's one of the things I would say we look at
That's
foremost.
good. Great. So in your role, or as you think about what you're doing to execute on those priorities, how are you trying to be innovative? What are some of the either innovative tools you're using or approaches that you're taking?
Um, so when we look at uh, CapEx improvements or reliability, we look at what technologies are out there, right? Hey, we go to our team members go to these conferences to look at what technologies are coming up, how we can utilize those technologies to continually improve our portfolios of properties and equipment. We're looking at things like smart thermostats, that can integrate with the whole room as well as energy
Hmm,
initiatives. So all those things we're looking at it continuously.
that's great. And then as you kind of think about the world getting more digital with AI coming in, how do you what are kind of some of those next steps you're hoping to put in place to take advantage of some of the digital technologies or kind of new tools that might be down the pike that you can envision?
Um, so we do keep talking to our vendors and our partners, like, hey, what are available out there? Even from HVAC. So a lot of in a hospitality environment, lots of money is put into HVAC, right? Just
Hmm.
conditioning that space. So we are looking at utilizing technologies in that space. We have not used a whole lot just yet, but it's always something that is on the forefront.
Right. That's good. Well, it does seem like an exciting time to think about how technology can intersect. Again, that's why we've started this Reliability 4.0 podcast, because we're really interested in how new technologies are going to intersect with, make easier, and complement some of the things already going on. And so, yeah, so we're always on the lookout for what those are. Well, I'm just really thankful for the time we got to spend today, Justin. Thank you so much. And again, we appreciate Justin. Again, he's with Premier, Director of Corporate Engineering. And so to all those out there listening, we're really about, again, helping reliability engineers and anyone else take steps in learning more about successful application of how they can implement technologies with their job to be even more effective. If you're looking just as a company, our company, Reliability, we provide RCA training and consulting. And then we also have a software platform called Easy RCA. Just for all those listeners, obviously, if that's something that you're in need of, encourage you to take a look at that. Well, again, appreciate you all tuning in today. That's all we have. We look forward to the next episode where we'll continue to work together to make the world a more reliable place. Thanks so much.
Thank you.